श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम 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 श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम 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 श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम Om
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ ॐ श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ श्रीराम जय जय
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Hari Om, pranams to everybody, pranam. Pranam, pranam. Pranam, pranam. Pranam, pranam. Ever since Papa started prompting us to dwell on opening the channel of communication with him, he has been motivating many devotees to write letters. One more letter has come. My most beloved Papa. Somebody writes, Thank you very much for providing me the clarification today on the writing of a letter to you. Such an action opens up a channel of communication with you, who are the indwelling and all-pervading reality, and hence also constitutes inward journey. When you are the indwelling and all-pervading reality, what is then the need of the formality of writing a letter, as you are certainly and undoubtedly aware of what is in my mind and what I wish to communicate with you? To this question you have also prompted the answer. The purpose of writing a letter is mainly for my satisfaction, and that you have asked me to transmit my dormant feelings in me. It was my mistaken notion that I came to know about you only 3 decades back, when my first visit to Anandashram took place. During our deliberations in the Satsang meetings on the in-depth study of IQG, Puja Mataji's revelation as to who you really are became known to me. You are beyond the form and the indwelling and all-pervading reality, Nirguna Swarup. This understanding clarified that you come into my life much, much earlier in my ashram visit. Running through my life history, the role you played in my life: advice, guidance, nurture, protection, healing, presence of mind, comprehensively in each and every stage and turning point in my life. It is thy glory that we are able to constantly visualize and realize your mysterious, silent, and invisible role played by you in my spiritual pursuit. I wish to conclude the letter by my humble prostrations unto your holy feet and pray for your continued grace and blessings on me for constant remembrance of you all the time. Hari Om, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Through each letter, Papa touches a different facet of our sadhana. The first one is when he is the indwelling reality, when he is articulating everything, when he is the power behind my thoughts, my words, my deeds. What is the need to communicate? Suddenly we realize, so far we have not been communicating. Why? We were not aware of his presence. Though he was there, he has been with us, we were not aware. So first stage is we become intellectually aware of his presence. It has not become an experience. So to make it an experience, the first step is to feel his presence inside, nearness. So a letter written, when we write a letter to him, when you write a letter to another person, the person comes before your mental vision. That means you are nearer to that person mentally. Similarly, when you write a letter to Papa, that Papa consciousness occupies your mind. Tangible gain of this, nearness. During writing that letter, we feel his nearness. That aspect, through this letter, it is brought. When you are the indwelling and all-pervading reality, what is then the need of the formality of writing a letter? As you are certainly and undoubtedly aware of what is in my mind and what I wish to communicate with you. To this question you have prompted the answer. The purpose of writing this letter is mainly for my satisfaction, and that you have asked me to transmit my dormant feelings in me. We can add this, nearness. It's a great privilege he is giving us, not only with his presence, but also with the facility of enjoying the presence. Otherwise, so far we have lived without that presence. Think. And our attempt to go nearer to him through prayer, through letters, offers us more and more clarity about him. Because he is a mysterious power, He is a subtle and mysterious power. So this letter is also very, very, very thought-provoking. It was my mistaken notion that I came to know about you only 3 decades back. Even prior to that. Kindly think about these words. That means before we got in touch with our spiritual preceptor, we were not aware of his presence, but that doesn't mean he was not there. His grace and his bounteous love is that even when I don't know him, I don't recognize him, I don't remember him, I don't offer my respect to him, Still, he has not left me. In the same measure now, he has been with me then. The only thing is, now we are slowly becoming aware that he is behind everything. That is also by his grace. During our deliberation, the Satsang meetings on the in-depth study of IQG, Puja Mataji's revelation as to who you are really became known to me. This is another aspect. Previously, when Mataji was making a reference about Papa, many of us may not be aware that Papa is beyond that form. He is also beyond that form. But when we go through Mataji's words of wisdom intensely, she makes it very clear who Papa is. These are all aids for us, to feel the nearness. Otherwise, when we heard Mataji telling Papa, we thought he was different, He is away from us. First we thought he is in that form, then we thought he is away anyway. I am away from him, he is away from me. But later on, when Mataji made us to dwell deep into her words, the same Guru's grace, when we read, we did not understand. Every para started with a prayer to Papa. Oh, gracious and all-loving Papa. We did not understand. In the first few lines itself, we will find O infinite Papa, I am your own embodiment. At the desire of some devotees who are none other than yourself, you inspired me to make several attempts to dictate my life story, incorporating in it all the events from the beginning of my life, even before you revealed yourself in me. You see, but every time after some progress I could not continue the work, now again I am taking it up. Incorporating in it all the events from the beginning of my life, even before you revealed yourself in me. O all-pervading Papa, in 1928, you awakened in me a strong urge to become one with your eternal being, and I came to you. After passing 1 year in your holy company, I appealed to you to initiate me with the Rama mantra. All compassionate as you are, you gave me the most sacred mantra. You then advised me to stop reading any kind of books, to give up the use of rosary while repeating the mantra, and to discontinue the worship of images. Instead, you counsel me to look upon all beings and creatures in the world as Ram, and to consider the service rendered to any one of them as service and worship to Ram himself. O kindness incarnate Papa, as I went on reciting Ram Nam, the remembrance of my relatives came to me with added force. To get over this hurdle, you asked me to take whatever thought that arose in me as Ram himself. Whenever I thought of God as Ram, I felt God was far away from me. But when I thought of God as Papa, I felt his nearness. See, this is the word, nearness, nearness, nearness. By this practice, after some time, I realized that all my relatives are yourself, and the thoughts about them as such disappeared. Then I looked upon everybody as you alone. I got the vision to behold you as everyone and everything. O Papa, the lover of devotees, during my spiritual discipline, I reflected how from my childhood onward you assumed various forms to guide me on the path. I recollected how you spoke as those present and made me also speak. Further, all the events of my life started crowding into my mind vividly one after another. O Papa, the infinite being, grant me the wisdom to narrate my life in all truth and sweetness and without any exaggeration. O Papa, the Divine Mother, you are omnipresent and having become everything, you are also transcendent. You pervade within and without all that exists. You are above beginning and end. You are the sole protector of all. O compassionate Papa, in the words, you reside in entirety. In the words, you reside in entirety in all beings, even in the smallest particle. Likewise, you dwell in me in all your perfection. Now grant me the power to describe your magnificent glory manifest in me. O Sadguru, as a first step to the realization of your omnipresent being, even before my advent into the world, you prepared the ground for the supreme consummation. Like that it starts. So these 2-3 things, when the devotee in his letter to Papa writes that even before he became aware of the Almighty, he was there. And Puja Mataji's words, though we would have read it many a time before, now when we read it, more and more clarity is there on the word Papa. The more clarity we have on the word Papa, the more nearer is he to us. The more clarity we have on the word Papa, Swamiji's chair. Swamiji, you can come in the front. Yes.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om. Oh, Hari Om, Hari Om. Oh,
I am at Pushpa South Swamiji.
very good, very good. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om. So the devotee writes, during our deliberations in the Satsang meetings on the in-depth study of In Quest of God, Puja Mataji's revelation as to who you really are became known to me. That is how now she prompts us to dwell on who is Papa. I will again read Mataji's words. O all-pervading Papa, in 1928, you awakened in me a strong urge to become one with your eternal being. And I came to you. After passing 1 year in your holy company, I appealed to you to initiate me with the Ram Mantra. All compassionate as you are, you gave me the most sacred mantra. You then advised me to stop reading any kind of books, to give up the use of the rosary while repeating the mantra, and to discontinue the worship of images. Instead, you counsel me to look upon all beings and creatures in the world as Ram, and to consider the service rendered to any one of them as service and worship of Ram himself. Here Mataji gives us, when it is not that worship to an image or deity is bad, but unfortunately what happens is, we are trying to localize and limit the all-pervading reality to that limited form. That is why Papa asked Mataji to stop, because God is in everybody. If we don't habituate our mind, if we don't train our mind to look for Him in all, we will never be going nearer to Him. So when the devotee writes that Puja Mataji helped the devotee to know who is Papa, we are trying to understand it, no? You counsel me to look upon all beings and creatures in the world as Ram, and to consider the service rendered to any one of them as service and worship of Ram himself. Oh, kindness incarnate Papa, as I went on repeating Ram Nam, the remembrance of my relatives came to me with added force. To get over this hurdle, you asked me to take whatever thought that arose in me as Ram himself. Whenever I thought of God as Ram, this clarification should be there in our mind always, because Mataji uses the word Papa only, whereas Papa was using the word Ram. So Ram and Papa are one, in the sense that they are the indwelling as well as the all-pervading reality. Mataji herself says, whenever I thought of God as Ram, I felt God was far away from me. But when I thought of God as Papa, I felt His nearness. By this practice, after some time, I realized that all my relatives are yourself. And the thought about them as such disappeared. Not the thoughts have disappeared, thoughts as such have disappeared. Then I looked upon everybody as you alone. How did Mataji scale the heights of absence of otherness? Puts it in a very simple language. During my spiritual discipline, oh, the lover of devotees, I reflected how from my childhood onwards, you assumed various forms to guide me on the path. I recollected how you spoke as those persons and made me also speak. There is another clue. When we are talking, we feel we are talking, But the truth is, we are made to talk. Simple hints. I recollected how you spoke as those persons and made me also speak. Further, all the events of my life started crowding into my mind vividly, one after another. You are omnipresent. Oh Papa, the Divine Mother, you are omnipresent. And having become everything, you are also transcendent. You pervade within and without all that exists. You are above beginning and end. You are the sole protector of all. So during our deliberations in the Satsang meetings in the in-depth study of IQG, that is why you remember, when Mataji wanted us to go through In Quest of God for 11 times, she made it clear that it was with a view that we will get the Nirguna Tattva of Papa. She also said that at the 11th, after reading the 11th time, not that you will immediately feel His presence, but you would have started going within. This devotee's email is an indication of how he motivates devotees to go within. Please think over it. When Mataji said, even before you made me aware, you are there, no? The same word the devotee also says, This understanding clarified that you came into my life much, much earlier to my ashram visit. And again, at every time, running through my life history, the role you played in my life. That means we are trying to go through our life in retrospect, as if in a film, Right from the moment we started feeling ourselves, we try to parade before our mental vision. And instead of seeing objects, individuals and situations, we are trying to see his hand in everything. We need not tom-tom, we need not put it in words, but the feeling should be there that it was through you, through my parents, you through my friends, you through my teachers, you through my colleagues, you through my boss, like that. You through my customers. Like that we will slowly develop. Previously we were only seeing them as individuals, situations, objects. Now we are trying to add one more to that. That means he is making us to slowly raise ourselves from the individual level. Previously it was an individual to individual. If somebody has helped us, we become grateful to him, we say thank you. It was individual to individual. We are not seeing the finger of God. Now we see advice, guidance, nurture, protection, healing, presence of mind. You blessed us with all these. Now we know. You came in that form to touch and kindle these aspects in me. You are there within me. I did not know that you were within me. I was still thinking about some form, but now I know the role you played in my life, in the form of advice, in the form of guidance, in the form of nature, nurture, in the form of protection, in the form of healing, in the form of presence of mind. Presence of mind, equanimity, whatever we call it, efficiency in action. These are all the ways by which we try to understand how he has been with us. Not merely during the time we labeled as spiritual practice. Please think over. It's a very thought-provoking letter addressed to Papa. Very thought-provoking. How to feel the nearness? There are 4 steps. First to feel is nearness. Samipyam. The next stage is presence. Sannidhyam. The third one is to see him in everybody. And the final one is to become one with him. So these are apparently 4 states. For the sake of sadhakas, we say that. First is Samipyam, Sannidhyam, Vyapanam, Ekatvam. Nearness, presence, becoming one with him, seeing him in all, and becoming one with him. So these were, how do I become aware of his? I was thinking that he is outside. Now I know he is within me. Second thing, I know that yes, there were moments when you came in the form of an advice, receptivity in me, presence of mind in me, evenness in me, excellence in me. I thought, I am perfect, or I am a man of perfection. Now I know perfection is yourself. Right guidance is yourself. Samatvam yogam uchade, the equanimity of mind you gave when you made me to pass through certain trying moments. Now I know you are there. I thought, it was presence of mind. When somebody patted on my back and said, yes, it's wonderful, you have the presence of mind, I did not see beyond what they said. Now I understand. You were expressing yourself in all these forms. Godliness. All these things are forms of godliness. Values. Values are in the form of godliness. It is thy glory that we are able to constantly visualize and realize your mysterious, silent, invisible role played by you in my spiritual pursuit. I wish to conclude the letter by my humble prostrations at your holy feet and pray for your continued grace and blessings on me for constant remembrance of you all the time. By prompting the devotee to write a letter in the form of an email and prompting us to read it out now, is to touch and kindle in all of us, the various methods by which we become closer to Him. So kindly go back to your life so far lived, a recoil, mental. Then we will slowly start saying, oh, it was he. Oh, it was he, it was he, it was he. This is how we first attain the step of feeling his nearness. Samipyam, samipyam, samipyam. That is the first step. Another letter also we received. Since you talked about creating discomforts in others, I immediately knew what had to be done and took the necessary steps. Now I come to you with a discomforted heart for having challenged your unconditional benevolence and beg for forgiveness. On top of it, I am tormented by the feeling of not seeing you anymore, even though I know you are everywhere, and also that I am asked to take it as a gift. O Lord, I am ready to give mine instead. O dear Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, please help your child in disarray, even though it remains at your most revered holy feet. Since you talked about creating discomfort in others, I immediately knew what had to be done and took the necessary steps. Now I come to you with a discomforted heart for having challenged your unconditional benevolence and beg for forgiveness. On top of it, I am tormented by the feeling of not seeing you, even though I know you are everywhere, and also that I am asked to take it as a gift. O Lord, I am ready to give mine instead. So many churnings, that goes on within. All because of, these are all inward journey. It is not addressed to an outside person. Outpourings, heart pourings, whatever we call it. This is something that is needed for a sadhaka. Absolutely needed. Because God is the abstract truth. So extra effort is necessary for people like us to feel His presence. So gauging our inadequacies and limitations, Papa has prescribed these 4 steps. Nearness, presence, seeing in everybody, becoming one with all. Throughout the text, in quest of God, if we keep these 4 in our mind, we will find it expressed through various episodes. When at Madurai, you remember that Swami Govindananda's comments, when Papa was when the Sadhuram was sleeping, unknowingly the Sadhuram's leg touched Papa's body. So Govind, that Swami felt offended and he was about to wake him up. That's all. Then immediately Papa said, he is also Ram, one with, seeing him in all. So there in that particular small incident, here Ramdas met again Swami Govindananda, who was so kind to him at Rameshwaram, that he with two other friends found Ramdas sitting on one side of the entrance of the temple. The tired Sadhu Ramdas's guide, was sleeping and Ramdas was squatting on his feet. In sleep, the Sadhu Ram's legs happened to touch Ramdas's body. Swami Govindananda remonstrated at this and was about to shake up the Sadhu Ram when Ramdas addressed the Swami, Maharaj, please don't disturb the Sadhu. He sounds asleep. Behold, cried the Swami, he is kicking at you. I cannot bear the sight. I consider it as nothing short of sacrilege. Swamiji, it is all right, replied Ramdas. His feet are holy. He is Ramdas's guru. He is Ram, so no harm anyway. The Swami said he could not quite understand Ramdas, whom he held in high reverence. So this particular incident, kindly think. Samipyam, Sanidyam, Vyapanam, Ekatvam. He was not seeing the sadhu as such, The nearness is there, the presence is there. Seeing him in everywhere is there, and finally become one with him. It is an innocent incident,
Otherness is also not there, sir.
Otherness.
Absence of otherness, yeah. Think. This is more important. He is making so many people to write letters, and he is making us to read it out so that everybody can dwell on it. The purpose is to highlight these four aspects. Nearness, presence, that is more important. Otherwise you lose the thread. That is the cream of this email. This is very, very, very important. One more letter is there, but I am prevented from going forward. So I will keep it for tomorrow. But if it is more interesting, I will overlook.
Who is preventing, Swamiji? Papa is from preventing.
Order is late. It's a long letter. Tomorrow I will read it out. It's not a one line, two line. Acha, anybody has got anything to share? Today, don't forget, we also went through a few lines of Puja Mataji. The first chapter of? Guru's Grace. That itself contains, we don't have to read any other book. We don't have to read any other chapters. In a nutshell, she has brought out what is to be taught.
Ecstatic union, Swami.
Ecstatic union.
Ecstatic. That is the title. Anything else anybody would like to share before we close? Who is going to sing?
Yes, Padma.
Who is going to?
Papa has made Mataji learn the most difficult aspect first.
Papa has made Mataji learn the
Ah.
most difficult aspect first. Seeing Papa, the all-pervading in everybody, is the most difficult task. You can relate that he is within you, he is making you talk, he is making you listen. That is easy. But when the opposite party is talking or even shouting at you, it is so difficult to learn that he is there, he is behind, he is behind.
That means, we have only learned, we have only heard. That is why we are finding it difficult to go along with. Actually, the purpose is that every time, suppose we keep on hammering, that in order to get ourselves stabilized in it, he comes unawares, and the test also comes unawares. So if we are not in a position to rise up to that level, but as a first step, we first don't react. And during that short period, we try to bring in all these dimensions. That means the satsang, through satsang, whatever they talk to us, whatever they share with us, it should percolate into our thinking system. With all this hearing, we are still viewing everything from the individual level. Naturally. So we are now trying to rise a little higher than the individual level, which can be done only through inward journey, which can be done only through any method by which we connect ourselves with him. Then only we will remember the other party when he shouts. When he shouts, we will know that God is shouting through him. Otherwise, how will we know? So first of all, we have to establish our channel of communication with him who is within us. In spite of hearing all these things, it is still at the academic level, mental level, intellectual level. It is not penetrating into our experiential level. So for that, what is to be done? Only through inward journey. And that is why Puja Mataji said, 11th reading will help you to start going inward. And then we may fail, we may forget, we may fail, we may forget, but one day we will be able to get the balance. We become positively indifferent to outer things and slowly trying to feel, previously we were mentioning that particular person is behaving like this. Now we are slowly adding one more dimension. God in that form is trying to test me. In quest of God, really, it is a testament, Whereas he responded violently. So the in-depth study should enable us to capture this theme. It is not a philosophy, he has brought it out through simple episodes. So every time when such things, one method would be, how would Papa react to this, How he would have reacted to such a type of this thing. And the moment this comes to our mind, it will cool down, calm down. Please think over it. It may look to be a tall talk, but that is the purpose of motivating us to take to this in-depth study. Again, we take the book and go through one more episode. In fact, the theme of In Quest of God, we should become one with it. We are making so many efforts to pick so many points. Those are all okay. But at least one point, we should assimilate and become one with it. Just like when we prepare for the exams, we try to go through the text again and again and again, because we don't know what type of question will come. And we also know that there won't be any teacher to help us, no text to help us. and we are not sure about the questions. Still we go to this examination hall. And then when we score 90 plus, what does it mean? We have been able to assimilate, absorb the theme or the text on which the question has been raised. Similarly, in life, God is giving us so many opportunities to learn through so many persons, so many situations, so many objects. But every now and then he also conducts this exam. Unawares, just like we are not aware of the question paper. From nowhere, somebody will come and behave. It is the question paper. It is not the misbehavior of the person. And how do we react? Are we getting more clarity on this?
Yes, Swamiji.
Please.
Similarly, from nowhere somebody comes and helps and goes away.
Exactly.
Helping you cross over a particular situation.
Correct.
So when Papa is there in that, so Papa is behind everything.
Correct. When Papa is there, I become aware that Papa is there.
Yes.
There is not the question of when Papa is there, no, but God is there always. At no time, at no place, he is absent. So he makes me aware for reasons.
Understand in one situation,
Correct.
the same understanding should be there in all situations.
We must try. That is the quintessence of the inquest of God. He makes them to walk, as we said yesterday, Tirupapaliyur, 32 kilometers on the hot sun without chapel. And suddenly, when he reaches there, he says, you can't see Sri Aurobindo. And the police takes him into task and says, you must go back immediately out of Pondicherry. Prompting came. God gave the prompting to Papa to go there. God did not fulfill that wish, made him to go back. And Papa did not grumble or complain because Papa could see the hand of Ram. So when such situations arise in my mind, I must try. I may fail. Because of my old habits, I may be seeing only them as an individual or a situation or a vastu, object. And I put a label. From my individual standpoint, never bringing in God dimension. This is important.
So Swamiji, so Papa puts up a situation, a tougher situation, for me to understand the difficult letters, the joint letters, the more difficult task for me to refine me. Am I right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And whenever we fail, we can pray to him, I failed. Unlike other exams, here God gives us an empty number of opportunities. It is not that once we have failed, we are asked to get out of the hall. No.
Swamiji, he is the paper setter, he is the corrector, he is making me pass, and he is always making me pass.
And
never makes me fail.
And even if I fail, he gives me chances.
No, Swamiji, after seeing the question paper, I am in struggle first.
Yes.
And then only just after complete.
Correct.
Be calm, then automatically it comes. That is his wish. Therefore, not I but thee, O Lord, not mine but thee, O Lord, this is the attitude of a good devotee, true devotee.
We try, we keep on trying. Now the effort should be to translate this from the intellectual level to the experiential level.
Yes.
Okay, more about this tomorrow. Who is going to see? Bhavani Ma. Okay.
தமிழ்
என்ன பாட்டு? அது ஆദ്യം சொன்னால் அதை நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி பாட்டு சொல்லலாம். பிகாஸ் நிறைய பேருக்கு நிறைய பேருக்கு தமிழ் தெரியாததுனால முதல்ல நமக்கு டைம் கிடச்சா அது மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் வேர்ட் டு வேர்ட் இல்லைனாலும் எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ
சாந்தி அடைவாய் மனமே நீ எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ.
சரி பாடல பாடுங்க, பரவாயில்ல போட்டு பாப்பாவோடு கலியில் நான் பார்க்குறோம்.
ராம ஜெய ராம ஜெய ஜெய ராம ஜெய ராம ஜெய ராம ஜெய ஜெய ராம.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम.
எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். இதை எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். மனமே எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். இப்பாரில் எப்போதும் எல்லா விலை அருளாய். இப்பாரில் எப்போதும் எல்லா விலை அருளாய். தப்பாது அழகும் பிரியாய் நடப்பதால் எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். முற்போது தர்மம் என்று தற்போது அதர்மம் என்றும். முற்போது தர்மம் என்று தற்போது அதர்மம் என்றும் முயன்றே சீர்திருத்த முடியும் உன்னாலே என்றும். முயன்றே சீர்திருத்த முடியும் உன்னாலே என்றும். அற்ப அகந்தையால் அற்ப அகந்தை செல்கால் அலையாமலே அடங்கி. அற்ப அகந்தை செல்கால் அலையாமலே அடங்கி. ஆண்டவன் சந்நிதியில் அதர்மமே இல்லை என்ற எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். எழுந்த உன் எழுச்சியால் என்னும் சொல்லாக. எழுந்த உன் எழுச்சியால் என்னும் சொல்லாக. இயக்கிய கர்மமெல்லாம். எழுந்த உன் எழுச்சியால் என்னும் சொல்லாக. இயக்கிய கர்மமெல்லாம் இறைவனை நீக்குவதே. எழுந்த உன் எழுச்சியால் என்னும் சொல்லாக. இயக்கிய கர்மமெல்லாம் இறைவனை நீக்குவதே. அழுந்தி அகமூலத்தில் அகந்தை ஒழிவதொன்றே. அழுந்தி அகமூலத்தில் அகந்தை ஒழிவதுண்டே. அரிய கிருத கிருத்ய ஆமானுபோகின்றே. அரிய கிருத கிருத்ய ஆமானுபோகின்றே. எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். மனமே எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய். அப்போது சாந்தி அடைவாய்.
It is addressed to the mind, இல்லையா? பார்க்கட்டும். ഇത് മനസ്സിൽ തന്നെ. This is addressed to the mind. When you become aware of this, then only you will become peaceful. எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போதே சாந்தி அடைவாய். Only when you know this, you will be able to attain peace. Whatever is happening is only by His grace. When you know this only, you will become, it is addressed to the mind. தற்போது அணுவும்
ஒரு அணுவும் அவரோடு இது இல்லாமல் அசையாது.
No, even every particle, every cell, everything is activating only because of Him. This fact, when I know this fact only, I will get Shanti. முற்போது தர்மம் என்றும் தற்போது
அதர்மம் என்றும் உன்னால் அதை தீர்க்க முடியும் என்ற அகந்தையால் தர்ம செவியால் என்றும் அற்ப அகந்தையை செருக்கால் அவையாமலே அடங்கினி. அற்ப அகந்தை கொண்டு முன்னால் நடக்கிறது
ஆணவன் ஆட்சியில் ஆமும்
அந்த ஆண்டவன் ஆட்சியில் அதர்மமே இல்லை
என்று எப்போது உணர்கிறாய். Whenever, when we bring in the God dimension, there can't be anything wrong, because it is He who does. When we forget about Him, there is right and wrong. When you know this, you become calm, peaceful.
எழுச்சியால் எண்ணம் செயல் சொல்லாக தானே நம்ம முதலில் வருவது பல உணர்ச்சியால் டக்குன்னு இன்னமும் வந்து
இறைவனை
தள்ளி நிற்கிற வைக்கிறாங்க. மறந்துடுறேன் அந்த சமயத்தில், இறைவனை மறந்துடுறேன் அந்த சமயத்தில்.
Whenever we forget Him,
அல்ல எப்போதும் டக்குன்னு உன் மனசில் தோணுறதெல்லாம் நீ வந்து வாயினால செய்து விடுறியோ, அதுக்கு செயல்னால செய்து விடுறியோ, அப்போ அதெல்லாம் நீ பகவானை தள்ளி வைக்கிறாங்க.
அகமூலத்தில் அகந்தை
அழுத்திய அகமூலத்தில் அரிய கிருத
ஆன்மாவென்று
ஆன்மானுபவம் ஆத்மானுபவம்
நானல்ல ஆத்மாவாகும் தெரியறதே அப்படியല്ലോ. Anyway, the ultimate message is, it is addressed to the mind. As a sadhaka, when we read this, when we hear this, what is more important is to dwell on the theme, Because of the language problem, we may not be able to understand fully. But what is more important is, we are addressing our mind. When you try to understand Him, then only you will become peaceful and calm. Because it is difficult, first you give me in the local language when somebody sings. Let them give it in writing. We will give the theme, not word by word, something. Okay. So let. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Namaskar, namaskar. Pranam, pranam. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.